You're listening to Life, the Universe, and Everything Else. Today on the show, Hot Bullshit Summer. Life, the Universe, and Everything Else explores the intersection of science and society. Original music is produced by Ian James, and this episode was edited by Marissa McCool. Find her on Patreon at patreon.com/QAF. My name is Ashlyn Noble, and I'll be your host today. With me, I have Lauren Bailey.
Hello.
Laura Creek Newman.
Hi there.
And Jem Newman.
Hello.
Jem Newman continues to be in the news, somewhat less than he has been in the past.
Thank goodness.
But we're still really proud of him for everything that he has said and had to deal with. And also, the hits keep coming. The bullshit keeps continuing. And we've got several new 1-star reviews on iTunes, which is nothing in the grand scheme of things. But if you want to go do your part, a 5-star review might help counter a couple of these jerks. How have things been, Jem?
We're back in town, and I'm doing some woodworking in the lead up to residency to distract myself. I've also visited the encampment down at the U of M, which is lovely. And recently I was invited to speak on a panel at a conference put on by the Islamic Social Services Association, the ISSA, which was great. Had a wonderful time there. So, yeah, I'm back and ready to, I guess, do some doctoring.
Yay.
How you doing, Laura?
Okay. It's okay. That's reasonable.
Yep.
We're doing our best.
Mm-hmm. Just, that's all we can do. Is keep doing our part, doing what we can do. Mm-hmm. You're still going to be the best family doctor ever. So
That's very sweet of you to say.
Stoked that you are going to exist in our community.
I make sure to prime him with stories of examples of not great doctors, so he knows what not to do. I'm sure you all have a few of those. Okay, I have an appendage to our last episode that we actually recorded, which was the AI episode, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I wish that my doctor's appointment that I had was before that episode, because I was horrified. Listeners, my doctor took the question that I had for him and entered it into Google and looked at the blue AI bar that said the answer that whatever the AI garbage spit out, and he said, "Look, here is the answer to your question." And I just
What?
boggled at him. I was like, "Can we look into this further?" Like, I can just say,
You can get wrong answers to your own questions like that.
absolutely. It was completely like mind blowing.
Was your question, how many rocks should I eat?
No. So I went to a specially set up sexual health clinic for queer people as a queer woman, and I asked the doctor, who is my family doctor. He just happened to be working at the clinic and I was hoping it would not be him because I've had this experience before. And I went there with the express purpose. It was listed like on when I had to make the appointment, I told them I want to talk about starting prep. And then I got there and he went through the whole questionnaire that I had to do. And he said, "Well, but you didn't answer yes to any of these questions. Why are you here?" Okay, so I'll explain why I'm here. Cool. I'd like to start prep. And then he was like, "Well, I don't know if I can give women prep." So he Googled, "Can I give women prep?" And then told me that the answer that the AI gave him was the answer, which it was not. It was not. The horrified look on Jem's face is exactly how I felt. Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
They walk among us.
Yeah. So after I asked him, "Can we look into this a little more?" we Googled together and read together several PDFs that I had previously read because I'm a person who looks shit up before I go to the doctor.
Uh-huh.
And I managed to convince him that he could prescribe me prep. So that was exciting for me, but what a wild ride. absolutely the most horrifying experience I've had with that particular doctor, and that is saying something. But I'm always able to convince him of what I want him to do, so it's fine? Question mark.
Yeah, you're like, wait, should I have this much power? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I use that power because I go to the same doctor.
And it really was like a week or less after our last episode when we were talking about all of this, and I was just like, my mind was blown. Yeah, because I messaged you about it when you were in freaking London.
I remember that.
Wild experience to go to the doctor and have him Google my question and then trust the AI. Why did you go to medical school? I hate you.
That was
Because
directed
Daddy
at this other
said I
doctor.
had to.
Yes, that was not directed at Jem, even though I was staring at him.
Yeah, no, that's the question Laura asks me.
Every day, man. Every day.
God, we're heading into Marin territory here, guys.
Anyway, we have an actual show to get to today. We're going to have 4 short and sweet segments about some hot summer bullshit.
Hot bullshit summer.
Fuck.
You know what? Actually, the way you said it in that context works.
It worked, yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay. So, first of all, I would like to rant, really, just yell for a little bit about a product that angered me. And then I went to their website today, full disclosure. This is when I did the rest of my research. And the website angered me even more than I thought possible. So, I go camping a lot. I love camping. The mosquitoes love me. In our most recent camping trip, we were out near Gimli, Manitoba, which
Last
is
summer.
somewhat rural, but they have a Sobeys. And I was dying from how many mosquitoes had eaten me.
Oh.
So I asked Lauren, who was going into town to Gimli, could you find some Afterbite or just calamine lotion, anything you can find me to make this stop itching?
And this is cottage country. Like, people go out here to
Yeah.
camp. So you figure they would have a robust
Anti-mosquito.
mosquito zone.
They found me one product that I was immediately skeptical of, but I was willing to try it. I was so desperate.
I was also skeptical in the store, listeners.
So these are called itch relief patches. That sounds fine, but then you notice chemical free.
Oh,
And you go, oh no.
It's chemicals that make things good.
It's chemicals that make things work.
What chemical free? Like, it still boggles the mind that you can put that on anything aside from
I
like
know.
a sheet of aluminum or some sort of
Anything that is an inert molecule, like
yeah, like you can have lattice structures that are technically not chemicals, but the vast majority of things that you interact with on a daily basis are chemicals.
water's a
including water.
chemical.
Yeah.
Like these have chemicals in them. I guarantee you. Like you mean a specific thing, and I understand what you mean, but it angers me that you say it.
Okay, we don't need to get into it, but I'm not sure that they do understand what I mean.
Fair. Okay.
like,
okay.
like when you really think it
We'll give
through
you
right
that.
down to it, but
Easy to peel and stick on bites. Safe for kids. Colorful. I like that.
wait, how do they stick?
Okay, they are adhesive. So that's definitely a chemical.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. But
Wait,
it's
are
safe for
you
kids,
sure?
Zoomin. Don't worry. Safe for
Okay.
kids. So I was like, okay, well, I'm looking at the sticker. It is sort of like if a hashtag orgy was happening.
What?
It's just a grid. It's just a grid.
A giant grid.
But it has like holes in it. It's perforated. So you're supposed to peel off these stickers, and they're sort of fabricy like a Band-Aid. And you stick this grid onto your mosquito bite. And they're fairly like flush to the skin, but you can definitely feel it. And the grid technology is supposed to instantly stop the itching, keep you itch-free for up to 7 days. They're supposed to be waterproof for 7 days, which is a wild assertion on a child at a beach.
And especially for chemical free.
But the grid relief technology is going to relieve the itch caused by mosquito bites by mechanically adjusting the skin to help your lymphatic system drain the saliva injected by insects. The sticker is going to fix your mosquito bite by draining it.
Wait, so this is like KT tape for mosquito bites?
100%.
Cool.
That's exactly what that is. But what it actually is a perforated Band-Aid.
All right. Okay.
But it's colorful.
Yeah, they're very cute.
Colors are good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I it seems thin enough that it wouldn't pull too much, like it like be relatively comfortable, and I can see kids enjoying wearing it, especially with like Minecraft and like very 8-bit look being popular.
At this point, I had read the packaging. I did not believe that these would work. I was still very itchy. I decided, why not? I have them.
That was my thought in the story. Oh God, these are the only things here.
I put them on everything. Why not? The one that lasted the longest, just to test like the provable claim on here, was like less than 48 hours. And like these were on every area of my body, not like weird bendy joints or whatever. They do not last 7 days, guarantee you.
Was your body covered in chemical insect repellents?
Yes, at many points.
Well, then, there you go.
I washed them off before I put the stickers on. However, I will say they provide, much like calamine lotion, which I think is its primary sort of function also, a physical barrier between your fingernails and the mosquito bite, which reminds you that you should not be scratching it. And for that reason, I believe that these patches are the second least bullshit thing on the website of this manufacturer.
No.
So, let me get into the other patches that this company has. Hold on. So, in addition to the itch relief patches, the NatPat, which is a Canadian company, woo, CanCon, produces many other kinds of patches in several different categories, including outdoors, so this would fall under that, sleep, mood, wellness. We know how much we love the wellness name.
My goodness.
So among the other outdoor protection stuff, they have the ones that are just supposed to prevent mosquitoes from biting you altogether. They claim to do this by having stickers infused with natural oils that will repel the mosquitoes. As Laura looked into, that does not work.
I did that segment?
I think so. I think you did the various
I know
natural
someone
oils.
did.
Somebody did essential oils and whether they worked, and I think it was pretty much a no.
I have no recollection. But
this was
cool. Yes.
This was many years ago.
Yeah,
we looked into the various insect repellent claims.
A glance behind the pod, listeners. Laura and I have both confirmed to each other that the second we do a segment, it just yeets itself out of our heads.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've learned nothing from the years of research I've done. No, I still retain that dolphins sleep with one half their brain at a time. That I remember.
Yeah. Another sort of patch that they have that made me much angrier than the mosquito one was tick repellent stickers.
Oh no.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Which appear to be exactly the same bullshit as the mosquito ones, except they are like a very, I don't know, the website for the tick one is way louder than the product pages for the other ones and seems to be like trying to make a lot more repeat buyers out of people, which is upsetting because they ask questions like in their FAQ, what tick problems are you looking to solve? Ticks make me nervous every time my child goes outside. Reply, with our stickers, you can let your child enjoy the outdoors without the constant worry about ticks. These stickers are infused with natural essential oils that repel ticks effectively. Simply stick one on your child's clothing and they'll be protected for hours of outdoor fun. It's not true. It's just a lie.
Do these also feature grid technology?
No, these are around, and sometimes they have robots, and sometimes they have cartoon characters, and they're pretty cute, actually.
But they will not protect you from Lyme disease.
Yeah, they will absolutely not protect you from Lyme disease. They will smell nice, maybe, and give you a false sense of security, and that is all that they will do.
They will make you not look over your children's body for ticks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems bad.
So that upsets me. I don't like it.
And we also live in an area like ticks. You know, obviously that's bad, but mosquitoes are hardly harmless. We don't have malaria here yet. Thanks, global warming. Might be on its way. But we certainly have West Nile.
I'm pretty sure I got West Nile a couple years ago. We didn't do a test because I just felt real bad after a horrible mosquito incident.
The hike we do not speak of.
Only time we've ever bailed on a hike.
It also angers me that they charge a lot of money for these stickers that could be going toward effective protection, and that they scaremonger about chemicals when the real worry is the ticks and the mosquitoes and the diseases that they are carrying.
Sure. DEET is not totally harmless.
Sure.
But it's better than West Nile. And honestly, IMO, it's better than itching.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take DEET any day. Any day of the week.
I like that picaridin stuff. It doesn't smell as bad.
What's it in?
It's like 1515 or something. No, it has the aerosols. I just get
Oh,
a
really?
Canadian Tire, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
We could try
I
that.
thought it was just the spritzers.
No.
It
Okay.
used to be.
So the reason that these mosquito patches only get the role of second least bullshit is because they do have one patch that I think might not be bullshit. UV detection stickers, which seem pretty cool. They start out clear. You stick them on yourself or your kid, and you cover them with sunscreen in addition to like the rest of you. And they gradually will change color over the course of UV exposure to tell you when you need to put more sunscreen on, which seems cool. And I looked it up, and there's lots of other companies that, well, lots is an exaggeration. There are other companies providing products like this for cheaper. So you should go get them from them. You don't need to give this company money, because that seems like a thing that works and will at least give you an indication about when you should put sunscreen on. If you listen to it, I did find a study that said it did not actually increase people's use of sunscreen.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's only a, like, changes color with sweat or something, then it's still a reminder, oh, my patch has changed color, I should re-sunscreen.
Yeah. But it does seem to actually respond to UV, and like there's lots of compounds that will respond to UV, so that's
Yeah.
easy to understand how that might work.
Are they chemical compounds?
They're probably chemicals.
Oh, no.
Can't use those.
But they're safe for kids.
Okay, well, that's good. I was actually a peek behind the curtain here. I ended up picking something that was not really related to summer, but was hot bullshit.
Yeah.
But I did search to see if anybody had invented a device that is supposed to, like, take the place of sunscreen. And I could not find any patches or other patented devices that were designed to replace sunscreen.
That's
Like-
interesting.
Umbrellas
Yeah.
exist.
Well, I mean, like, sure. But that's not
but
what
like
that's
some
not what I
other
meant.
kind of thing, yeah.
Some sort of nonsense, not a parasol.
You might be interested to know that they sell both mosquito patches for kids and mosquito patches for adults.
But I want the cartoon character ones.
Yeah. If you want a boring gray patch, you can get the adult ones.
Oh, gray patch.
It has, the adult ones have a higher dose of nothing in them.
There are no children that live in our house. All of our Band-Aids have SpongeBob or My Little Ponies on them. So,
Oh, and Pokemon. The Pokemon ones
right,
are
the
super
Pokemon,
cute because you don't know
yeah.
what you're going to get until you open it.
Oh, gotta catch them all.
So many wounds.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm a glass artist.
who cooks in their spare time?
Yeah. So, would you like to know about the other categories? I saw some confused looks.
Yep. There
Okay.
isn't a finance patch, though.
That'd be great.
There's bedtime stickers, so those ones at least make sense. People have been using smells to try and go to like calm down and relax. Sure,
I guess
bedtime
so.
sticker makes you sleepy. I still don't like it. Doesn't have any effect, but whatever. You're trying to sleep. Doesn't anger me the way the tick ones do. Then there's the focus stickers. Which are clearly meant for desperate mothers who don't want to give their children medication, who will stick them on their child before school and say, please be good today, child. Please listen to your teachers.
Right in the center of the forehead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the maximum dose?
Yeah.
Yeah, just like one, like a ring
like just
around the face.
a package a day? Is that okay?
Krusty the Clown and his
His
yeah,
nicotine
patches.
patches.
I mean, it is
room on the back.
$44 for 3 patches, so you might want
What?
to think a patch.
How
a day.
much?
No, 3 packages.
Oh, okay.
No, there are quite a few patches in one packet, but that would get expensive pretty quickly.
I mean, it's cheaper than a neurostimulant, I guess, but it's not cheaper than nothing, which is what it is.
Uh-huh. But don't worry, maybe the lemon, atlas, cedarwood, bergamot, and peppermint will not only smell fantastic, but also add a fun, colorful touch to your day.
I have that tea.
It does smell nice.
Sounds like it could be a pleasant room aroma.
Cedar and bergamot? Sign me up.
Tea, Earl Grey, hot.
Sounds like your next favorite beard oil.
Ashlyn is not a bergamot fan.
I'm not a big bergamot fan.
I like the smell of it, but I can't handle the taste of it. I don't like Earl Grey.
Yeah, I'm not a big Earl Grey. I'm coming around to it, but I don't love it.
Oh, in England, I brought back some smoky Earl Grey.
It's actually really interesting. Like, the smokiness to it is quite not what I would expect from a tea. Anyway, back to Ashlyn's segment.
You say this is Earl Grey? I'd swear that it was Darjeeling.
So the other segment, or the other header on the website that irritated me, respiratory and allergy relief patches.
Oh, boy.
Uh-oh.
You can breathe easy with the sensation of breathing in a fresh, crisp air with their unique blend of natural essential oils, which I think every one that I actually managed to find a description of, I think it's the same fucking sticker.
So when they say allergy, they're talking like hay fever, right? We're not talking
Yeah.
anaphylaxis.
I think that they want you to put these stickers on and breathe in the nice smell along with your hay fever allergens and just feel like you're doing something when you're actually doing nothing.
At least they're not slapping it on Billy after he had a peanut butter sandwich by accident. I hope.
They don't say not to.
They're like, does that work? I'm like, it didn't not work.
Oh, God.
Yeah, like, I would hope on the page, and again, maybe it's out there. I have not looked at this company, but I would hope on their allergy patch page, it's very clearly stated, if you think you are having a severe allergic reaction, do not use this patch. Contact your emergency services or some other way of saying get some epi.
Yeah, use epi. If epi doesn't work, more epi. If that doesn't work, more epi.
But also call 911.
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
This is what you do while you're waiting for the ambulance to
Yeah.
It's also what I'm doing while I'm waiting for the code team.
Okay, I just reread this. They definitely don't say not to use it for like anaphylactic allergies. They strongly suggest that it is for like nasal symptoms.
Okay.
But they don't say not for peanuts.
Or any of those types of reactions.
Cool.
I'm glad that they do try to say it's for this specific type of thing, but it's also like you just have to be very clear with this. Very clear.
I wonder what their lawyers say.
How do I use allergy relief stickers? Simply apply the sticker to a clean, dry area of your skin, preferably on the upper body. The stickers release their natural ingredients over time, providing continuous relief. That is not specific enough for me.
No.
I take back my lawyer statement because they obviously did not vet that.
Apply directly to the forehead.
So yeah, that is the hellhole that I fell into after being provided these itch relief patches for my itch that did not do anything. But they did prevent me from scratching bloody holes in myself, which was something.
Earlier today, Ashlyn was sitting on the couch doing the research, let out like this cackle and said, "I'm just going to read this website." Just going to read the website.
Okay, like some of the FAQs are truly just like, they look like those poorly translated Amazon product pages.
Don't talk about my segment like that. The horrible non-science aside, I think the most egregious thing, looking at this packaging, it looks like those like applesauce Go-Gurt things that kids have. It's the same color blue as the packaging. So yeah, it looks exactly like that. It looks like you're feeding your child applesauce out of that, where it's got the little tube attached to it.
It does, actually.
Yeah.
It looks very much like a slightly larger applesauce squeezy.
Yeah. How does it work? Yes, it does.
Wait a minute. Wait, I think you're telling on yourself.
Yeah, it just the complete disconnect between the question and the answer.
Like-
That's what made me cackle.
I gotta say, I do appreciate that, because I think that one of the questions that you always need to ask before you ask, how does it work? You have
Does
to
it work?
ask, does it work?
But they didn't put that in there.
What was that MLM thing that it works, and it wouldn't tell you what it was in it.
It was just called It Works. That was
Yeah. That was like a saran wrap for your midsection, like literally shrink your waist kind of thing. But it was called It Works, and it was. I forgot about that.
A former acquaintance of ours really got into that and was doing like a thing on her Facebook, and so we went in there and said, "Well, how does it work?" It works.
Society kind of sucks sometimes, you guys.
Well, don't worry, Jem, because NatPat.com has a part of their website called Science-Based Information.
Oh.
You'll be thrilled to hear this.
I will be.
Here's one of the one of the headings on this part of the website. Why trust is a must, setting the stage.
Oh.
Right? Let's get right to it. Skepticism is a healthy attribute, especially when it comes to products designed for your little ones. You need the peace of mind that comes from trusting a product wholeheartedly, and for that, understanding the science behind it is crucial. At NatPat, we are committed to providing transparent, evidence-based information about how our patches are engineered to offer both playful problem-solving and scientifically grounded solutions. From natural essential oils to cutting-edge slow-release technology, every detail of NatPat patches is meticulously planned to ensure safety, avoid allergies, and deliver measurable results.
Okay, so they've got the randomized controlled trials that show that there's a decreased frequency of mosquito bites when...
Yeah, they have some
PubMed links?
graphs that purport that theirs is just like a little bit less effective than off.
Published...
No.
On their website.
No.
Who did the authors are listed, I assume.
No.
There's peer review.
There's a graph, Jem.
Oh. Well, if there's a graph.
Yeah, there's a graph. It's colorful.
Cool.
So are the stickers.
They are effectively disguising the carbon monoxide, and that is apparently their method of action.
I mean, like, that would be a way of doing that. It's not perfect.
If it was effective over a large area from a little bitty sticker.
Yes, which I doubt.
Which it is not.
Yeah.
So, that was fun. We never actually decided who was going next.
Well, you decide right now.
Lauren.
Hi.
What's your bullshit?
Well, I'm going to answer your question with a question. What's everybody's go-to summer footwear?
Sandals.
Water shoes.
Sandals. It used to be steel-toed boots, but now it's sandals.
Yeah, mine are the same loafers that I wear in the winter because I don't leave the house. Yeah, so... Have any of you ever tried Reflexology Sandals?
No.
Well, just in case, they're also marketed as like acupressure sandals or Reiki shoes or anything in that range.
I do like the sound of Reiki shoes. Like that kind of sounds fun, and it sounds like a cool hip brand that I haven't heard of.
Are these the ones that just have the little, like, tiny little fingers all over them that stick up?
Kinda,
and
yeah.
just kind of throughout in like a grid pattern?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think, no. Yes. I mean, my parents had them when I was younger, and they would wear them all over the place.
0% surprised. 0%.
Like, also, yeah, agreed with Lauren, 0% surprised, but also, what? What is this?
I just thought that they were like a kind of sandal that people had. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they came in fun colors, I think.
Oh, not anymore. I'll tell you about that.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so essentially they are ugly adjustable sandals. They have, as Jem said, this series of pokey knobs that press into the soles of your feet and are supposed to relieve all of the tension and pain in your whole body.
Like, they didn't appear to be knobs that were placed anywhere particularly. It was just all over.
Like, is the whole sole covered in that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did a very quick search on our podcast website, and I honestly was surprised I didn't find a segment about reflexology. Nobody's done it.
That
yeah.
low-hanging
Basically,
fruit.
Poking bumps and trying to fix things.
Yeah.
We got the idea.
Yeah. So on its face, I'll just give a little bit of a refresher here. On its face, reflexology works on the premise that there are pressure points in both your hands and feet. These sandals only deal with your feet because you don't wear sandals on your hands. These pressure points correspond. Handles.
Are there reflexology gloves?
Oh, yeah,
sure.
no, my parents definitely had these. Absolutely. 100%.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, Lauren.
So, reflexology points on your hands and feet that map to other places in your body.
Right.
On a couple of the maps that I looked up, massaging the tips of your big toes, they'll make your brain feel good.
Okay.
And but
Your brain just feel good.
but your other toes, those will help your sinuses.
All
Those
of
will,
them.
Those will, yeah. The tips of all of your toes, except for your big toe, will unblock your sinuses.
What? Okay. No, go on.
Okay, you know where your brevis muscle is, right? That piece under your baby toe. Am I pronouncing that right, Jim? Your brevis muscle. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there are several brevis muscles. But
Yes,
yeah,
but the one under your baby toe.
Okay. Yeah, we knew that,
one,
right, Laura?
sure.
Ashlyn?
I looked up muscles because I knew Jim was gonna.
I did actually have to memorize all the muscles at one point. I was very bad at it. And there's so many of them in the neck. There's so many. And they all have bad names.
Correct? Yes. That sucks.
Then you should definitely poke this brevis muscle because it will repair your shoulders.
Oh, shit. I need that right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so also, what repairs your feet?
Funnily enough, nothing.
No!
Because people have some messed up feet that could really
There's
use
gotta be
some
something
fixing.
in the hands.
Yeah, right? That's what I was
But
thinking.
not on the foot mat. Yeah. So yeah, nowhere on the bottom of your foot corresponds to your legs on the few maps that I looked at.
Not like those are important body parts or anything.
No. In a few of the articles I read, there are at least 6 different branches of reflexology. They all stemmed from one dude in 1917. And then sects came.
Like chiropractic.
Yes, basically.
Chiropractic?
And each
Chiropractic,
yeah.
usually. Yep.
And each of these 6 different branches, or 6 or more different branches, they each have a different foot and hand map.
Oh, God.
They all map to somewhere different.
That's
on
why all the
body.
bumps are everywhere random.
Yeah.
So the conceit of these sandals is that you walk around on these little, and they're not little bumps, they are dime-sized nubbins that stick up out of the bottom of these shoes.
Ugh.
Yeah. And you walk around on those for a few hours, and it's good for you for in-between reflexology sessions as a...
Or to tide you over.
Yeah, it's a tide you over sort of thing. It doesn't replace your regular treatments, of course.
Of course not.
Never.
I wasn't about to spend any of my money on these sandals. I had spent enough on these patches for Ashlyn last year, and that was enough.
Enough for the year.
Yeah.
I spent like $70 on mushroom tea for you people.
We did not ask you to do that. I believe I, in fact, asked you not to do that.
I spent $70 on cake
And you
last night,
didn't
Jim.
even remember the code.
That's true.
What?
I didn't even remember the code.
in the
There was a
discount
discount code. I finally threw that tea out last week.
It was so bad.
Why did you keep it? No one was going to drink it.
Well, didn't a bunch of you think the mushroom stuff was not that bad? You were wrong.
No, like it was like tolerable in sips, but it is not something I would willingly drink.
I wouldn't go, ooh, mud water.
Yeah, like I think I
prefer
would
coffee.
actually look for mud, like if I had the choice.
Sorry, I derailed everything.
It's
That's
okay.
fine.
We're just going to get back into the prices of these sandals. I found them on the big online box store for anywhere from $20 for the most basic model. You can get them up to about $300.
300?
Uh-huh.
I mean, for a pair
Good
of
Lord.
shoes, I'm amazed it's not thousands.
Yeah.
Laura, you can't put a price on health.
Yeah, you fucking can.
Well, the average is about $40.
There you go.
Yeah. I didn't want to spend that money. Like I said, I spent it on these patches. Spent it on cake last night.
Much better use of your money, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, cake, right? Yes, cake.
And I got Ashlyn, what were they? Funnel fries poutine.
Yeah.
like chocolate
there's
sauce?
Funnel cake fries with like sauce and little crumbs of toffee. So good.
That sounds really good.
So
Yeah.
good.
Tasty.
Much better than Reflexology Sandals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So, like the other thing I said I didn't want to spend money on, remember the LUEE composter? I remembered a segment.
Yes, I was thinking about that the other
Yeah.
day.
So I just read the online reviews and the science behind them. So I don't want one of these sandals kicking around my house. Although one of our cats has a fascination with sort of chewing on rubber. Like he loves his Crocs that we have to keep away from him. So maybe he would eat these.
All right.
So what did strike me immediately about the first pair that I looked at, besides the fact that they are hideous, which we will get back to, is that several of the pictures are infographics that include the explanations in various words saying, these are going to hurt. No, seriously, get ready for foot pain. And then eventually, in a couple of weeks, they will stop hurting and you will start to feel better.
Pain always gets worse before it gets better, right?
Mm-hmm. And of course, predictably, the reviews for these shoes are split nearly evenly between, these are the best things ever, and they cured my backache, and they helped me win the lottery, 5 stars. And these hurt so much, I had to cut my feet off, 0 stars. Oh, Amazon.
I love that. I want to read that review somewhere. I hope nobody did it, but I really want to read that review.
That's what happened to that farmer. I always thought he did it for the insurance money, but it was because of those sandals.
Yeah, he was wearing reflexology sandals out in the field.
You heard about that a few months ago?
No.
A guy tried to commit insurance fraud by cutting off his own feet and claiming it was his lawnmower.
No.
Or tractor. Yeah, he was paraplegic already, so I guess he figured that it wouldn't be a big deal because it wouldn't hurt, but
You still lose the blood.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to these sandals, which this guy can't use anymore.
Yeah, like what happens if you don't have feet? Like what who's going to cleanse your liver? Like, come on.
The Eagles, Laura. Greek mythology jokes.
Poor guy.
But so there are other versions. They don't have the dime-sized nubbins. They have like rubbery-looking soft bristles. They're more likely to bill themselves as acupressure sandals than reflexology sandals. And they promise, and I quote here, to foot massage, relief pain, release stress, promote metabolism, and promote sleep. That was their ad copy.
All the good stuff.
Yeah. Horrendous ad. But how are they supposed to work? I've looked, and I've not yet found a scientifically sound, or really any study, on how walking on the equivalent of dollar store scalp massagers can help you lose weight. Which is this claim. I did my best to search. I really did. Reflexology doesn't work. It's not a science. It's not falsifiable. At its best, it's an expensive foot and hand massage. At its worst, it can be deadly. It doesn't have as large of a chance to hurt you as, say, chiropractic manipulation, but some reflexology practitioners can lead people to eschew actual treatments for their serious ailments.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned before that these are hideous. We're getting back to the funny stuff now. Uniformly across the board, these sandals all look like a cross between prison shower shoes and those expensive Adidas slides that you wear with socks.
Yep.
Yeah. The entire vamp of the shoe is Velcro, so you can adjust it. So you can get the perfect reflexology fit.
I mean, honestly, I think that's a bit of a step up from the slides that are not adjustable, because one of the things I hate most in the world is seeing people walk around with slide sandals and their toes hanging off the end.
The cliffhangers.
All the time, and I cannot bear it. So
And then
I guess
a shuffle sound.
Oh, I guess one up for these guys.
I am bothered by a lot of things that don't bother other people. So I understand where you're coming from, but I do not get that. Why does it bother you to see other people's toes not fitting their sandals?
It doesn't fit. It's the same. It's like if you were wearing running shoes and your entire heel was hanging off the back end. Like, it doesn't fit. It just doesn't fit.
But that would be way more uncomfortable than your toes hanging off the front.
How could your toes going in gravel and on asphalt before the rest of your foot not be uncomfortable?
Okay, yeah, if they're hanging off that much.
Like, I see this all the time. And I see it in kids too. And I'm just like, what do you... Okay, I give parents I try to give them a lot of slack. But this one, I'm like, come on, guys. Like, this just...
Yeah.
Anyway, go on.
The way Huxley wears her shoes, I don't think we can cast any stones.
I am usually the normie. Can I get to be like weird a couple of times without getting flack for it? All right.
One of us.
Yeah, right?
So, Laura, would you like your choice in these shoes? You have your choice of poo brown, navy, or institutional gray. These are your color choices.
Why such sad colors?
Because you're an adult.
Like, would that excite my black bile too much or something and throw off my chakras, and that would be a problem?
Yeah, the only colorful grids we are allowed as adults is Tron. I tried to work that into Ashlyn's segment and it just didn't fit, so I had to shoehorn it in somewhere. Shoehorn.
Must be included.
Yes. So the nubbin colors either blend in with the plastic soles, or they are orange or blue or white in a pattern that to lead you to think that they were doing different things to different parts of your feet. Baffling you with science. The orange ones do this. No, they don't. They're a dime-sized nubbin. Ugly sandals with painful knobs or rubber bristles won't do anything to fix your liver problems, even if they're pushing really hard between the ball and the arch of your right foot, which is where your liver can be fixed. The only thing that has helped relieve my performance syndrome / sciatica was a deep tissue actual massage at the site of it, and not gentle pressure on a narrow band that goes through the middle of the heel of my left foot. Mm-hmm. It's like a ribbon of caramel. The ice cream.
Ew.
I'm going to give the last word to Amazon reviewer Shannon from 2021 for the By River brand acupressure / reflexology / arthritis sandals. And Shannon says they are, quote, so uncomfortable. Could not even wear them when quickly going outside to take the garbage out to the curb. Do not buy.
That is a smart person.
Wise words. Do not buy.
Yeah, my parents definitely had the finer bristled acupressure sandals, not the big dime-sized reflexology ones.
All right, I'm going to see if I can find a picture.
Those ones seem really awful. Like if there were twice as many of those knobs, it would be not too bad. But the gaps. Yeah, that seems like a thing.
Walking on marbles.
Yeah, those
look fine.
The ones I'm showing now, they look like those dollar store scalp massagers on the bottom of a shoe, and the shoe is salmon? Would we say that's salmon?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Colored?
Yeah.
And these ones are not adjustable.
80s pinky beige.
Yeah. Dusty rose.
It's not I was thinking that it's not quite there personally, but it's verging on dusty rose.
It's a little more orange than a dusty rose.
It is, yeah.
My childhood bedroom had dusty rose.
Content.
You've come to Colorcast.
Following Soup and Sandwich Cast.
Yeah, exactly.
Colorcast with Laura and Lauren.
Let us tell you about our synesthesia.
I can hear us getting more 1-star reviews.
Listeners, welcome us home.
Excellent segment, Lauren.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I spent a whole 20 minutes.
Jem, give us something lighthearted and short.
I'll see what I can do. So today I would like to talk about U.S. patent number 1749090.
God damn it, Jem!
I made Lauren do a spit take.
No, I did not spit into the mic. I did not spit take.
So today I wanted to talk about law enforcement for a little bit. We've touched on this before, of course. We did a 2-parter on criminal justice and pseudoscience in the field of forensics way back on episodes 98 and 99. And we talked about the history of Canadian policing on episode 159. But that's some real serious stuff. Kind of downer episodes, to be honest. And today I'd like to keep it lighthearted. I made a promise, and I intend to keep it. Goodness knows I need something lighthearted these days. I thought about tackling the polygraph, but it turns out we already did that.
Yep.
Looking back at the show notes for episode 98, it looks like I even went on a diatribe about what a hack Paul Ekman is.
Yep.
Which was probably just an excuse for me to talk about Lie to Me and how much I love Tim Roth, if I'm honest. I was kind of at a loss. But then, courtesy of Discourse blog, I found just the thing. So, if y'all indulge me, imagine for a moment that you're a cop.
No.
Let's say you've nabbed your suspect, and you've got them in the interrogation room, and you're trying to convince them to confess to the crime. Sure, you could go with your tried-and-true tactics, your good cop, bad cop, you're beating them to a bloody pulp, you're just planting drugs on them. Sorry, I said I was going to keep this light, didn't I? Anyway, this is where Helene Adelaide Shelby comes in.
Jem, are we talking about the e-meter?
No. We are talking about a patent filed on the 16th of August, 1927, which I guess would make it Laura's negative 58th birthday. So Shelby filed an application with the U.S. Patent Office that proposed to address the problem of obtaining police confessions. 3 years later, U.S. Patent number 1749090 was issued for Shelby's apparatus for obtaining criminal confessions and photographically recording them. According to Shelby, one of the chief barriers to obtaining criminal convictions is that criminals will so often recant their confessions. It's so annoying. I'll quote from the patent.
Nobody stays beaten.
It is a well-known fact in criminal practice that confessions obtained initially from those suspected of crimes through ordinary channels are almost invariably later retracted or repudiated by the criminal with the charge that these confessions had been obtained through intimidation or under duress. So, what is this apparatus for obtaining these confessions? Any guesses?
Waterboarding.
A bullet.
I want it to be something like completely ridiculous, like a tickling machine.
Stay tuned.
Oh,
It's not a tickling machine, but I will quote from the patent. The present invention relates to a new and useful apparatus for obtaining confessions from culprits or those suspected of the commission of crimes, and photographically recording these confessions in the form of sound waves in conjunction with their pictures, depicting their every expression and emotion to be preserved for later reproduction as evidence against them. The primary objective of my invention is the provision of an apparatus for the creation of illusory effects calculated to impress the subject with their being of a supernatural character, and to work upon his imagination as to enable an inquisitor operating in conjunction with the recording system to obtain confessions and graphically record them. So Shelby's solution was twofold. First, convince the subject that malevolent supernatural forces are at work, effectively scaring them into confessing. And, hopefully, by impressing upon them the metaphysical direness of the situation, preventing them from recanting. And second, even if the criminal does turn around and deny their wrongdoing, you now have both audio and photographic evidence of their confession. So I will remind you that this patent was filed in 1927, in spiritualism's waning days. Anyone want to hazard a guess as to how the subject was to be convinced that supernatural forces were at work?
Mr. Splitfoot would knock on the table. One of the Fox sisters had to be there, though.
Well, they'd put the suspect in a dark room.
spiritualism.
And then the wall on the far side would spin around, revealing a skeleton with light bulbs for eyes, bathed in spooky lights, fitted with a megaphone so the interrogator can shout questions at the subject, presumably in their best Crypt Keeper impression.
If convicted, you'll receive a stiff sentence. You may even do a little horrid time.
Oh my goodness.
I want one. I want one
now. That sounds like something that you would buy at Spirit Halloween in early October.
I will show you some pictures.
You said that like it was a threat. It kind of is. And there's an operator behind there.
It's funny because back then you would have had to have pictures, but now we're like, yeah, we get it. We've seen this thing before.
Hey, you guys have one of those giant Home Depot skeletons to put up in your front yard. Imagine doing that with that thing.
So I'll quote again from the patent. The elements comprising my apparatus consist of a dark enclosure constituting the chamber in which the suspect undergoes examination in which the subject is placed. This chamber is separated from the examiner's chamber by a panel and a partition, and said panel and partition bearing an immediate aperture, which aperture is provided with a framed opening. A platform is mounted upon the floor and extends under the panel and consists of a light chamber having a glass top, in which is mounted a plurality of electric lights, having reflectors adapted to reflect the light upwardly through and about a skeleton mounted upon said glass top. A second source of light is mounted upon the panel over the skull of the skeleton. It is adapted for additional flooding from an opposite direction, the purpose being to produce the appearance of an apparition having a translucent outer or astral body, and a diaphanous veiling constituting the so-called aura, the lighting being of a character adapted to flood with a ghostly light and to bring out clearly the skeleton's outlines. To add to the mystification, the bulbs forming the eyes of the skeleton will be caused to blink upon the subject's replying to questions while under examination.
See, we could have had this, and instead we got the Reed technique.
So it's certainly a novel approach, though it's possible that menacing a suspect with a skeleton may in fact constitute coercion and be grounds for throwing out the confession anyway.
Never.
Not in 1927.
Sadly, Shelby's invention never saw adoption in police departments. The patent expired with her death in 1947, so if any enterprising investigators want to give it a shot, All it would cost is maybe $100 and a trip down to Spirit Halloween.
Amazing. Very well done.
That's some hot bullshit right there.
Some hot bullshit. Yeah.
Possibly one of your shortest segments ever. So good job getting back to the woodworking.
Yeah. I love seeing what is in the annals of the patent office.
Yeah.
Dead files. It's great.
Some wild things. What did you research today, Laura?
Well, I researched the bane of Jem's childhood existence, aloe vera gel, specifically for sunburns, which was actually, I don't know which one was worse. Was it the gel or was it the burn that was worse, Jem?
Honestly, I think the gel upset me more. Like, it was so sticky, and then it hardened into kind of, you know that film that a sucker gets when a kid sucks on it and then puts it down on the table? And it kind of like, you pick it up good 15 minutes later and it stretches and sticks just a little. That's what aloe vera was like.
Like just straight from the plant, or was it a bottle?
It varied. Sometimes they would just tear
a leaf off.
What do you say, fronds or
a leaf
off of the aloe vera,
it's not a stem.
And just squeeze it on there, wring it out. Sometimes, often it would be a bottle. Presumably there was some aloe vera in the bottle.
I think of this every summer because every time any one of us gets a sunburn or looks like they might get a sunburn, Jem starts regaling us with his trauma from having this. Is anybody else familiar with aloe vera?
Yeah.
I've seen it. I think I've used it once or twice. It wasn't something that we did in my household, but I had friends who did it. Also, light-skinned ginger. So maybe it's a, like, you get sunburned a lot thing. So, anyway.
I definitely heard that it could be used for burns in general, but we just, weren't that kind of family.
Yeah.
I think my mother always wanted to be that kind of family. I don't know. Mom, tell me. She listens.
Yeah.
I don't remember us doing anything for sunburn except tough it out.
Yeah. So my mom would always do a cool wet cloth, which is still my favorite thing. Feels great. Or failing that, turns out a cold beer can works nicely too.
In and out.
Yeah. So we all got a little too much sun when we were in Malta. So yeah, but cold wet cloth, and then as soon as it started to feel warm, you go wring it out and put cool water on it again, and that was my family's remedy. But
it's like anything that's going to stop you from cooking.
Yeah, exactly.
It is literally a burn.
Yeah.
And cold water has a good heat capacity.
And memory.
Does not have memory. Yeah, something cool to draw the heat out. That will work.
Yeah. So a lot of people do swear by aloe vera, though. They will stock up on it as much as sunscreen, or maybe more so in some cases.
Some of us prefer to swear at aloe vera.
Yes, Jem, we know. He swears that every time he sees an aloe plant, he just starts muttering under his breath. So aloe has been used for a long time, like a lot of plants, like for centuries or millennia. Like a lot of plants. In some places, it was even called the plant of immortality. So, and it's been used historically by humans since ancient times. Apparently, Pliny the Elder talked about it. So it's got to be good stuff if he's writing about it, right?
What
or them,
didn't
or
he talk about?
Well, exactly, right? So, some little red flags shooting up there. Anyway, so like I was saying, it's been used historically for medicinal purposes for a long time. It's said to have anti-inflammatory properties, antibacterial, antiseptic, wound healing properties, even good for joints, diabetes, teeth, all sorts of things. Really, it's your go-to, cures everything, right? And interestingly enough, in some places they used it as part of their embalming procedures. So just throwing that out there. It was used for a lot of stuff. So proponents of aloe vera talk about all the great stuff that it has. Like, not only does it cure everything, but it's full of all sorts of nutrients and great things, right? So, of course, these include things like vitamins and minerals, which I would expect. It's a plant. It's going to have at least some of those things. Also, not none of these things talk about like the quantities of these vitamins and minerals. And also these are not likely part of it, sunburn benefits or anything, but I digress. Anyway, also it contains enzymes. Yay! Some of these are purported to be anti-inflammatory. Some of the sources talk about something called bradykinase, which I had a really hard time finding. The only place that I found it on Google, which I understand from Jem is now terrible, was linking back to an article about aloe. So I guess it's a thing, but apparently this enzyme is supposed to be part of its anti-inflammatory thing. Maybe, I don't know. Also, some websites talk about how it has other enzymes that digest things like sugars and fats. It's like, okay, but why would you want that on your skin?
Yeah.
Like, okay. Now, to be fair, some people who are into aloe thinks that it's great internally as well as externally. No. It's a real, any problem, aloe will do ya.
They have those gross drinks with the pulp in them.
The apple cider vinegar.
Some people, like in some cultures, drinking aloe-flavored beverages and juice has been part of just the repertoire, the flavor repertoire for a long time. And yeah, some people like them.
Yeah.
Dave, I'm disappointed in you.
I did want to note...
We're just done with this podcast.
Yeah. One source talked about how great it is to have aloe on your skin. I'm skipping ahead, but I'm going to come back. Don't worry. How great it is to have aloe on your skin. And you can put it on often through the day, but not too often because it could have mild exfoliating effects. So...
What?
Yeah. So that's kind of a fancy way of saying it's taking a bit of your skin off. So
is it sanding you?
No, it's digesting you.
Chemical exfoliation. Like
That's
it's a peel.
worse.
Yeah, so
it's a pineapple.
Thinking if you're putting this on a sunburn, I'm not sure that's the kind of thing that you want. Anyway, so aloe has been linked with sunburns for a long time. Mm-hmm. And the biggest thing that seems to connect these two is that the plant's gooey, gel-like interior provides a cooling sensation when it's put on the skin, particularly hot and irritated skin from a sunburn. And that is likely due to the main type of fiber that's inside of this. It's called asamanin. I'm not sure how to pronounce this exactly. It's a type of mucopolysaccharide, which is a fancy way of saying like a fiber that makes a gel, basically. That's probably responsible for this. So this is what allows all the water, of which aloe is like 99% water, all that water to be held up in something and not just gush out when you break the plant. And it's also what allows that gel to stay flexible over time. Like Jem was describing how it forms a bit of a skin, but it still moves. It doesn't get hard or dry up right away. It holds the moisture. So between these couple of things here, what's probably happening is that it's a high water content. It's probably cool because you keep it in a cool place, and it's keeping that water on your skin. And so it's allowing that heat to actually dissipate through the water, and it's doing it so in a breathable way. So that's what we think is happening there. So while the cooling sensation and relief that are provided are very real effects, the evidence base for the mechanisms of action and the healing properties remain very thin and inconclusive. A few studies have looked at the application of aloe in wound or burn healing with inconsistent results. And pretty much all these studies are small and they're done not often. There seemed to be a cluster in the 70s, a little cluster in the 80s, a cluster in the mid-2000s, really little since then.
So corresponding with like slightly granola hippie movements and
could be
natural movements.
Most of the studies were in journals from not North America or Europe. Nothing wrong with that, but just like a different place, time, culture, lots of those other kinds of things. Several of the studies that were linked as evidence were from like Ayurvedic medicine journals.
Oh.
Yeah. Many of the aloe studies are in animals or on cell cultures as well, especially when you get into the anti-inflammatory effects. You always got to look at what they're testing on, and it's usually rat cells. A single study from 2008 published in the Journal of the Medical Association of Thailand found that aloe gel offered no sun protection when applied before sun exposure and performed as well as placebo in terms of sunburn symptom relief and healing time. So, aloe gel really is one of those remedies that people have used forever and will always be included in lists of how to treat a sunburn, regardless of how efficacious it actually is because of that history. And then it has the fun of being a cure-all too. So aside from the occasional skin reactions, aloe doesn't appear to be harmful to a sunburn. So, rarely people might get a bit of a contact dermatitis from it. I didn't see any reports of significant or severe allergic reactions, so that's pleasant. I mean, there's nothing to say that it makes a sunburn worse, so that's something. And like I said before, it can give that feeling of cooling. So if it really does give that relief and you are fine with that, no problem.
Psychosomatic, making your kids feel better.
Yeah, or yourself. That's okay. Whatever you like, but your sunburn is going to last as long as it is. Some sites will also say, oh, it will stop peeling. It won't necessarily stop peeling. Like if you burned yourself bad enough to have peeling, that peeling's going to happen and you kind of want it.
If you burn yourself bad enough that somebody on the beach didn't know you were going to be there, but recognizes you from the photo that was posted on Facebook 5 days before, no. Maybe Mark Forkheim still listens to the podcast, but he recognized me on the beach from a post that Ashlyn had posted days before.
I took a picture of their back after they burned themselves really bad and posted on Facebook, and we went to Beconia, and Mark found us and was like, oh yeah, I recognized your sunburn.
Wow.
Oh, Mark.
Do you have like a very, you know how some bathing suits have like very specific like crisscross patterns or something like that?
No, it was just like
just a racer back sort of thing.
Okay.
I now
very distinct.
I now wear a rash guard. My swimsuit has long sleeves.
That's a good call for skin safety.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so as we talked about a little bit, aloe comes in various forms. You can just have an aloe plant, break it open, and kind of get the goo out and use it that way. That's what a lot of people have done for a long time. Commonly, it's sold as a pre-made gel. It's either clear or often kind of greenish in color.
Yeah.
I guess to show that it's from plants or something, even though when it comes...
bottle.
Yeah. So it's usually that, and it's usually sold right beside the sunscreen and things like that. Some dermatologists do suggest avoiding it in lotion form, partly because some of these lotions can have irritating things like fragrances and that can be not great for irritated skin.
When you add the chemicals in, Laura, it just makes
once
it worse.
you put the chemicals in, I forgot.
Not safe for
Lauren.
children anymore.
Right. But also because a lot of lotions will actually trap the heat instead of releasing it. So moisture for burnt skin and burns in general, moisture control is important, especially if you have a bad enough burn that you're losing a lot of fluid, that moisture barrier isn't there. If you've sunburnt that badly, you should go to a hospital. Like your skin will dry out a bit. It will peel and flake. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's like not that it's dry skin. It's like that layer of skin cells is dead and needs to come off and that. So you do need to hydrate, but you can drink water for that. You can have some of that moisture, but you don't need to lock it in that same sort of way. You need a synergistic effect. Yeah. Maybe I'm totally wrong with that, Jem. I have to look at him now.
Breathable gauze.
Yeah. So if you want to use it, your best bet is going to be in the gel form. Now, if you do decide to use it and you want to use a commercial aloe gel to treat your sunburn, be forewarned that, like many natural health products and cosmetics, the regulations and product standards are loose. A 2016 analysis of the store brand aloe gels sold at CVS, Target, and Walmart found no traces of actual aloe in these products, despite aloe being labeled as the second and only other ingredient after water.
Well,
okay, what was in there besides water then to make it mucousy?
What made it a gel?
Yeah.
Typically, these brands were found to contain ingredients like maltodextrin, which is a starch, essentially. It's a thickener that's used in a lot of foods, and it can make a gummy, jelly-like texture. And it's a heck of a lot cheaper because it's chemically made and like made in big factories and that, rather than harvesting real aloe and then treating the plants and doing all that.
Why do we have homeopathic aloe?
Well, it's not. They don't even
homeopathic if there's nothing.
Yeah, like they're not even trying. It's just. Yeah,
that's true. We wouldn't be able to detect aloe in a homeopathic remedy either.
All of it is true and all of it is bad. So just be aware. They did note that other brands did have aloe in them, but the store brand did not. So should this be surprising? No, capitalism wants to do this at every point. They don't care about you.
Capitalism.
Oh. So at the end of the day, if you like aloe and it makes your burn a little bit more tolerable, it probably won't hurt. But only time and sun protection will help that burn heal.
Yeah. Wear your sunscreen.
Mm-hmm.
Apply often. Wear a rash guard. Don't be like Lauren, who burns every goddamn year.
My understanding of the evidence is that if you are applying cool cloths and like that, you can improve the effects of the sunburn as well, provide symptomatic relief and draw some of the heat out. So
yeah,
that will help too.
But that's free if you have cloth and water.
Yeah.
Have you heard of the tea bag thing?
I have heard of that.
And I think it's just this exact same effect of you're putting cold things on your body and that people talk about how the tannins are going to do something, yada, yada.
It's like the tea bag holds water, and especially if you froze it or something, like got it really cold, it's going to cool slowly. It's like it's going to melt slowly. And so you're going to have like...
heard just like brew super strong tea and use that on your cold washcloth instead of the tea bag itself. Yeah.
Oh,
and don't use butter, because remember what butter does to cooking meat.
Well, it's the same as the lotion thing. It traps it. It's the same fat
That's a
thing.
thing that I didn't realize that people did that. Funnily enough, so I saw that on a listicle of things. In that listicle, butter was highlighted like a hyperlink. When you hover over it, it's like health benefits of ghee. That's what they linked to. And I'm like, why would you do this? That's so dumb.
For clarity.
Okay.
It's late, listeners. It's late.
Okay. Can we do this with 3 hosts, or do we need to find a 4th?
I'm Ashlyn's ride home, so you're stuck with me.
I just wanted to...
Are you firing my spouse?
I just wanted to just clarify something. We've been making a lot of reference... Yeah, okay, thank you.
Sorry.
We've been making a lot of derisive sniggers at it contains chemicals. So we've been doing this for a long time, so there's lots of stuff that we've covered a few times. But just for the benefit of any listeners who are not understanding what we're talking about here, chemical is a very general term, and as we're talking about, just about everything is a chemical. Usually when people are talking about how they prefer to avoid chemicals, what they mean is artificial chemicals that are not found in nature. Or they're meaning chemicals that are created in a lab, even if they are chemically identical to a chemical that is found in nature.
Yeah,
and
things that are not naturally occurring in that substance or whatever.
So you can have natural chemicals, you can have artificially created replicas of naturally occurring chemicals, and then you can have chemicals that are wholly created de novo, I guess. And those are quite rare, unless you're getting into material sciences or whatever. Regardless, what we're kind of gesturing at when we snigger about these things is the fact that whether something is naturally occurring or not has no bearing on whether it is safe. There are plenty of chemicals that are naturally occurring that are extremely bad for you.
Arsenic.
Like arsenic.
Sorry,
although
Chip.
arsenic, I think...
Water is bad for you in enough quantity.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Arsenic is an element, so technically it's not a chemical.
But when you
example.
say that they are worried about unnatural chemicals, I don't think that is true.
So I'm not sure. I don't think they think it through sufficiently to sort of make that connection. But I think for some people, if you press them on it, that's what they might say.
Fair, yeah.
And there's lots of natural things that are not safe, and lots of artificial things that are safe. And there's lots of things that we can replicate. However, it is reasonable, as we've been talking about in Laura's segment just now, to be skeptical and maybe a little even suspicious of what a company is putting in your whatever you're buying. Your aloe vera gel it doesn't contain what it says on the label. Now, it's not because it's artificial or a chemical. It's because they're trying to be cheapskates. And there are lots of fully natural remedies that are adulterated with heavy metals, which are naturally occurring, but still not good for you, for example. So I just wanted to take a moment to provide our listeners with that clarification. When we giggle about, chemicals, what we're saying is everything is chemicals, and whether it's natural or not doesn't actually have any bearing on whether it's safe.
Mm-hmm. Because even the people who use these mosquito anti-itch patches, if you question them about it, they understand that the glue that is holding it on is not natural. The fabric is probably made of plastic.
Yeah.
And they think that all of those things are bad too, but it's just a matter of degrees. Well, it's so much better than DEET.
Yeah, all of those things are chemicals, including DEET.
Uh-huh.
They all have LD50s.
Yeah.
And DEET has a lower LD50, which is bad if you want to put it that way. But
we're not drinking it.
We are not.
Please do not drink
Thank goodness.
The LD50 is the amount of a substance which will kill 50% of a given population if they ingest it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lethal dose, 50%.
We did a show on that.
Just, again, providing clarification.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
So, that was a lot of hot bullshit that we just talked about. Woo! Many different kinds. Do we have any hot summer nice things?
I have a cool summer nice thing. So we just got back from a European vacation, which I'd been promising the kids for 4 years. And it was totally lovely. I have to say my favorite part of the vacation, I think, was visiting Scotland. And we took a dip in the fairy pools on the Isle of Skye. And it was like 4 degrees and
No, it wasn't
gorgeous.
that cold. It was 14. But it was dreary and drizzly.
Yeah. Good Scotland.
Yeah.
Had a wonderful time. It was nice to have had time with the family as well, but Scotland is beautiful.
It is.
The pictures all looked lovely. Like you were all having a good time.
We were.
What's your something nice, Laura?
Well, kind of two. My something nice has been having a nice, slow reintroduction to life after vacation, not having to work too much, which is good. And then a bonus something nice, which is stems from a something not nice. There has been a single rabbit who has been evading me and getting through all of my attempts to keep my one garden box in check.
It is extremely funny, like Peter Rabbit stuff.
Like, it really is. Like, on numerous mornings, I ran out of the house yelling, "Rabbit!"
I think I saw him in the neighbor's front yard on the way in.
It was a big one. It's a big, like, it's an adult. There's a couple of young ones, but this one's a big one. And I put up a good big fence yesterday, and it seems to be working. So
This is the third such fence, the rabbit having climbed over one, and when she got a higher one, gnawed through it.
Oh, rabbits.
Laura, will this rabbit make you stop being a vegetarian if you catch it?
freaking rabbit. I don't know what I would do with this rabbit. Like, truly, I was like, I want you to live in Antarctica or something. Like, get out of here.
Beyond, like, Farmer McGregor, I think this might turn you into Elmer Fudd.
Yes, I might be. But as long as the rabbit stays out and okay, this is just rabbit cast now. But seriously, there were peppers at ground level. There was a parsley plant. It didn't touch those. No. It had to jump into the box and get stuck in my 3 layers of fence and then freak out even more. And then all of this. Stupid rabbit. Anyway.
Tricks are for kids.
Yeah, tricks are for kids. So now I have a nice fence and the rabbit is out.
Lovely.
Go on. Lauren, do you have something nice?
No.
We make no secret that we go to a family therapist to do some tune-ups and that kind of thing. And in our last full session with the 3 of us, she said, I would give you a gold star if I could. So we actually got an A+ in therapy, which is totally something you can want and be able to achieve.
You did it!
So yay, you got an A+ in therapy.
It's actually really adorable how much of a fan of us our therapist is.
Oh, that's great.
It's delightful. Yeah. So we told her the other day that we had told people that we got a gold star in therapy, and she said that I should make a sticker of it. So that's actually what I've been working on.
Soon to be available at Youth and Games in Winnipeg.
Very nice.
Also, the cats are doing well. I got to know the Newman cats a little bit better as I was house sitting for them.
Very much appreciated.
Mm-hmm. Anytime.
Timmy is ridiculously cuddly. He just wanted to, like, if you moved toward the couch, he'd be like, oh my God, is it cuddle time? I'm here.
He knew there was food time. He knew there was me fussing around doing other things like plants and fish and all the stuff that doesn't concern Timmy. And then he knew there was sit on the couch and we'll do our Norwegian lessons and cuddle Timmy time. These were the cycles of the visits.
Oh, that cat.
My something nice is that this recording is almost done.
Oh, whoa!
That's some hot summer bullshit.
Shots fired.
I'm with Ashlyn on this. I changed my vote too.
This is not a democracy.
I also got all of my garden in before the solstice, which I was a little bit doubting that would happen. I'm hoping next year will be smoother now that we have like both plots covered in hay and dirt and not quack grass.
Hey!
But I'm looking forward again to feeding people out of my garden and having a lovely summer of growing things.
Yeah. We got 2 large plots at the community garden this year, plus we got 2 more raised beds for our backyard, and the front yard orchard is going well. And there's 5 little raised beds, the big raised bed, the orchard.
And our haskaps are ripe already. They usually ripen. Wow. They start being edible around Father's Day, which is a nice sort of marker of we can eat things from our yard from Father's Day to
Halloween.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And this year we got radishes even earlier. I had radishes that I was eating the end of May.
Wow.
I'm looking forward to eating some of that lettuce, like tomorrow.
Awesome.
Yay, summer.
That's awesome stuff.
Thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Remember that people are giving us 1-star reviews for being quote-unquote anti-Semitic. So if you disagree with that view, you could go give us a 5-star review. Nobody on the podcast can hear you shaking your head sadly.
Well, good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Show notes and references for all of our episodes are available at lueepodcast.com, where you can also find links to donate or get in touch. If you'd like to support the show, the best way to do that is with a review on Apple Podcasts, or wherever else you found us, or by sharing this episode with a friend.